low-priced electric vehicles from China could shake up the U.S. auto industry in ways we've never seen before.
I'm standing in what should be an empty lot by now, but instead it's filled with row after row of cars that nobody's buying. Look at them.
America's car market is in freefall, and the shockwaves are hitting faster than anyone expected. Production lines are stalling, prices are collapsing, and the brands that once ruled American roads are suddenly fighting for survival. Why? Because China just detonated the global auto market with a flood of ultra-cheap high-tech EVs that US companies simply can't match. These aren't bargain bin cars. They're fast, efficient, and landing in overseas markets at a pace that's blindsiding American executives. And behind closed doors, the financials look even worse than the public statements admit. Some of America's most iconic automakers may not make it to 2026. So which brands are crumbling first? How did China pull this off so quickly? And what does this mean for every American driver? Chevrolet, the American family car, once had an unquestioned champion, but the modern market has shattered that certainty. Waves of low-cost electrified competitors, arriving with speed that would have been unthinkable a decade ago, now threaten the foundation that supported Chevrolet for generations. Affordability, once its greatest weapon, is steadily being turned against it in a global price war that grows fiercer each year. Chevrolet, one of the most recognized and historically resilient automobile brands in the United States of America, built its legacy by delivering accessible vehicles to millions of households seeking reliability, practicality, and an unmistakably American identity. From the earliest decades of the 20th century onward, Chevrolet became synonymous with value, offering sedans, coupes, trucks, and performance models that captured every corner of the market. Yet the modern automotive landscape has shifted dramatically, and that shift has created a new kind of threat, one emerging not from traditional domestic rivals, but from the rapidly scaling manufacturing powerhouses in the People's Republic of China. As Chinese automakers gain momentum by prioritizing aggressive pricing, faster product cycles, and vertically integrated battery production, Chevrolet finds itself in an unexpectedly vulnerable position in categories it once dominated without serious challenge. The brand's most affordable vehicles, historically considered its strongest competitive advantage, are now exposed to pricing structures that no traditional United States manufacturer can match without sacrificing margin or quality. This is especially true in the fully electric segment, where Chinese automakers are producing compact electrified cars at price levels that undercut Chevrolet's entry-level offerings by thousands of dollars, while still delivering acceptable range and technology. Chevrolet's development cycles, which stretch across several years, make it difficult to counter vehicles that Chinese manufacturers can update and relaunch with remarkable speed. The result is a widening gap between what Chevrolet can feasibly produce and what aggressive overseas competitors are already delivering. Another concern comes from Chevrolet's internal balancing act between its heritage gasoline lineup and its mandated transition into a fully electric future. While its iconic trucks and sports models maintain loyal followings, the brand struggles to allocate resources across many overlapping priorities: building large electric trucks, maintaining gasoline icons, and developing affordable compact electrified vehicles simultaneously stretches the brand thinner than ever before. Meanwhile, Chinese manufacturers are flooding global markets with small, efficient, ultra-low-cost electrified vehicles whose entire business model centers on mass volume and featherlight construction. That asymmetry of focus puts Chevrolet in a defensive position in the very sector that could define the next decade of American transportation. Furthermore, Chevrolet faces a challenge rooted in consumer perception. While the brand still resonates with older generations, younger buyers increasingly associate innovation, cutting-edge technology, and futuristic design with overseas brands, especially those originating in China. This perceptual shift erodes Chevrolet's cultural foothold among first-time buyers, a demographic that historically relied on Chevrolet to provide the vehicles that introduced them to the American automotive world. As this foundation erodes, the brand risks losing not only market share, but also the generational loyalty that once kept Chevrolet stable, even during economic downturns. Chevrolet remains an iconic name, but in an era defined by unprecedented global disruption, the brand's long-trusted formula is being tested harder than at any moment in its history. And if a household name like Chevrolet can be pushed into such a precarious position, the situation becomes even more alarming when we move to the next brand, a company facing an equally intense wave of competition, reshaping the American sport utility vehicle market. Ford. Innovation once felt like Ford's personal domain, but the industry has entered a phase where innovation alone is no longer enough. Electrified upstarts, relentless international competition, and shrinking entry-level demand have combined to place unprecedented pressure on a brand that helped create modern transportation. The landscape has shifted so dramatically that even Ford's proudest strengths are no longer guaranteed advantages. Ford has spent more than one full century shaping the identity of transportation in the United States of America, beginning with the pioneering assembly line innovations introduced by Henry Ford during the early 20th century. Throughout its long history, the company has survived recessions, wars, fuel crises, and shifts in consumer preference, always managing to adapt its product lineup to match the needs of the American driver. However, the current transition into a fully electrified future presents a challenge unlike anything Ford has previously encountered. While the brand still holds considerable strength in full-size pickup trucks and sport utility vehicles, its attempt to expand into affordable electrified models has exposed deep structural disadvantages. Chinese manufacturers benefit from vertically integrated battery production, lightning-fast development timelines, and lower overall manufacturing costs, enabling them to deliver compact electrified vehicles at price points that are simply unattainable for Ford's domestic production structure. Ford's struggle is most visible in the segment that once served as its entryway for young drivers, compact and mid-size cars. As the brand pulled back from producing traditional sedans in favor of crossovers and electrified trucks, it unintentionally left a vacuum in the very area where Chinese automakers are strongest. The rapid rise of low-cost electrified hatchbacks and small crossovers from manufacturers in the People's Republic of China demonstrates how quickly consumer expectations can shift when new technology becomes widely accessible. These vehicles deliver extended driving range, competitive safety features, and modern interior design while maintaining prices that undercut Ford's smallest electrified offerings by several $1,000s. This pricing disparity creates an increasingly dangerous scenario for Ford, because losing entry-level buyers today means losing future loyal customers tomorrow, weakening the multi-generational brand attachment that once served as one of Ford's greatest strengths. Another mounting challenge for Ford involves the enormous financial burden associated with its shift toward electrification. Developing large battery packs, retooling factories, and maintaining research programs that compete with faster-moving overseas rivals place immense strain on Ford's operational budget. Although the company has made progress with electrified trucks and crossovers, the costs required to scale these products remain significantly higher than those faced by Chinese firms that operate with government-backed supply chains and exceptionally efficient production ecosystems. This imbalance threatens Ford's ability to offer electrified vehicles at the price points that mainstream American families expect. And without achieving those price points, the brand risks surrendering the mass market category that has defined its identity for so many decades. Compounding this issue is the growing perception that Ford's electrified lineup does not evolve quickly enough to keep pace with rapidly shifting consumer expectations regarding range, charging speed, and onboard technology. A slow product cycle in an era defined by constant innovation can leave a legacy manufacturer exposed, and Ford now stands at a crossroads where every delayed decision carries the potential to accelerate its decline. The next brand faces a sharper competitive threat. If you are finding this breakdown useful, take a moment to like the video, hit subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement helps this channel keep uncovering the changes reshaping America's auto market in real time. Dodge. A rumble of raw horsepower once defined the excitement of American roads, but that sound is fading as the world embraces silent torque and energy-efficient technology. Dodge now faces the difficult task of transforming itself in a market where its signature strengths risk becoming liabilities. The shift from gasoline thunder to electrified performance has never been more consequential. Dodge has long been celebrated as one of the boldest automotive names in the United States of America, a brand built on raw horsepower, muscular styling, and a fearless commitment to delivering thrilling performance to everyday drivers. Throughout the 20th century and deep into the early decades of the 21st century, Dodge shaped its reputation through vehicles that embodied American automotive passion, from legendary coupes to intimidating sedans and commanding sport utility vehicles. The brand created icons that dominated drag strips, earned dedicated fan communities, and cemented Dodge as a symbol of unfiltered strength. However, the global shift toward electrification, efficiency, and advanced digital technology has forced Dodge into a difficult position. Its historical emphasis on large displacement engines, aggressive styling, and uncompromising performance no longer aligns with modern regulatory standards or evolving consumer priorities. The rising influence of fully electrified automakers, especially those originating from the People's Republic of China, presents additional challenges. While many of these manufacturers focus on efficiency and affordability, their rapid technological advancements and competitive pricing place pressure on traditional American performance brands. Dodge must now compete in a global environment where the definition of performance has changed. Acceleration, torque delivery, software optimization, and battery efficiency are the new battlegrounds, and brands with early dominance in electrified platforms hold a significant advantage. Dodge, which built its legacy on gasoline-powered muscle, must adapt quickly or risk losing relevance as consumers migrate toward electrified vehicles that blend power with modern efficiency. Complicating matters further, Dodge's product lineup has narrowed significantly in recent years. Classic sedans have been phased out, leaving the brand heavily dependent on a small number of sport utility vehicles and electrified reinterpretations of its past legends. This reduction in portfolio diversity increases risk at a time when flexibility is crucial. The challenge is magnified by rising manufacturing costs, stricter emissions regulations, and shifting consumer expectations that increasingly center on connectivity, safety technology, and long-term efficiency. Dodge must now balance its historic identity with the demands of an electrified future, a transition that requires substantial investment and strategic clarity. Another pressure point lies in brand perception. Dodge has cultivated a loyal following among enthusiasts who value high performance and traditional engine sound, but younger drivers placing greater value on technology, sustainability, and digital integration may look elsewhere. Maintaining appeal across generations requires modernization without sacrificing the emotional elements that make Dodge unique. Achieving this balance is essential, but increasingly difficult in a marketplace defined by rapid innovation and aggressive international competition. The next brand illustrates how even long-standing American automotive names are being reshaped by the accelerating global shift toward electrified mobility. Lincoln. Luxury buyers today move faster than the brands that once shaped their aspirations, leaving older automakers scrambling to keep pace. In this rapidly evolving world of electrified comfort and digital sophistication, Lincoln finds itself confronting a future where quiet elegance must battle against aggressive technological disruption. The rules of luxury have changed, and the brand must prove it still belongs at the table. Lincoln, one of the most historically significant luxury automobile divisions in the country, built its legacy on refined comfort, smooth performance, and a uniquely American interpretation of prestige. From its earliest years during the early 20th century, Lincoln styled itself as the aspirational counterpart to the more practical Ford lineup, offering stately sedans, commanding sport utility vehicles, and elegant long wheelbase cruisers that symbolize status and serenity. For decades, Lincoln thrived by presenting a calm, quiet, and lavish driving experience that appealed to generations seeking dignified transportation with a distinctly American flavor. However, the modern automotive landscape has changed more dramatically in the past decade than in any previous era, and Lincoln now faces a level of competition that challenges the very foundation of its brand philosophy. The rise of Chinese luxury and near-luxury electrified vehicles has created a seismic shift in global consumer expectations. Manufacturers from the People's Republic of China are producing fully electric crossovers and sport utility vehicles with generous interior space, advanced driver assistance suites, rapid software updates, and futuristic cabin technology, all at prices that significantly undercut Lincoln's offerings. These products are entering international markets with surprising speed, and their immediate success demonstrates how vulnerable legacy luxury brands have become. Lincoln, which traditionally relied on a slower, more deliberate product cycle, finds itself unable to refresh models at the pace required to keep up with overseas competitors that operate with streamlined engineering pipelines and vertically integrated battery production. Another challenge confronting Lincoln lies in its struggle to establish a clear identity in the fully electric era. While the brand has committed to electrification in principle, its execution has been slower and more fragmented than that of emerging international rivals. Lincoln has historically emphasized comfort, tranquility, and understated luxury. Yet contemporary luxury buyers increasingly prioritize cutting-edge technology, high-speed connectivity, and seamless digital integration. This shift in consumer priorities places Lincoln in an uncomfortable position because the qualities that once defined the brand are not the same qualities driving purchase decisions among younger luxury buyers. To remain relevant, Lincoln must modernize its approach without abandoning its heritage. A balance that becomes more difficult as Chinese automakers deliver feature-rich electrified vehicles at unprecedented value. Compounding this vulnerability is Lincoln's reduced global footprint. Unlike German luxury giants with strong international presence, Lincoln depends primarily on the North American market. This limited reach makes the brand more susceptible to disruption from foreign manufacturers entering the region with competitively priced luxury electrified vehicles. If Lincoln cannot secure its share of the rapidly expanding electrified luxury segment, it risks losing not only market volume, but also cultural relevance within the American luxury landscape. This growing pressure illustrates the mounting urgency confronting Lincoln during this transformative era today. The next brand reveals an even sharper example of how international competition is reshaping the future of American luxury. Before we continue to the final brands, make sure you are subscribed. The upcoming analysis is crucial for anyone watching the rapid transformation of America's automotive industry, and subscribing ensures you never miss the updates that matter most. Chrysler. Once a symbol of daring American engineering, the company that shaped entire eras of automotive design now stands in one of its most uncertain moments. The industry's pivot toward electrification, efficiency, and global competition has placed enormous strain on Chrysler's shrinking lineup. Reinvention is no longer optional, it is a matter of survival. Chrysler, once regarded as one of the most innovative and influential automotive names in North America, now stands at a crossroads unlike any other moment in its long and complicated history. The brand that once introduced groundbreaking engineering solutions, dramatic styling revolutions, and forward-looking technology has gradually shrunk to a fraction of its former size. For decades, Chrysler symbolized aspiration and progress, offering a mix of refined sedans, spacious minivans, and confident luxury models that appealed to families, professionals, and drivers seeking an elevated American experience. However, as global competition intensified and domestic priorities shifted, Chrysler's product lineup became increasingly narrow, forcing the brand to rely heavily on a limited number of aging models, while its competitors, both domestic and foreign, expanded aggressively into emerging segments. The rise of extremely affordable electrified vehicles from manufacturers based in the People's Republic of China has placed Chrysler in a particularly vulnerable position. While the Chinese automotive ecosystem benefits from vertically integrated battery production, highly efficient supply chains, and rapid development cycles, Chrysler faces the opposite reality. The brand must navigate complex manufacturing structures, high labor costs, legacy platform commitments, and the challenge of aligning with broader corporate strategies set by its parent company. These constraints slow Chrysler's ability to innovate at the pace demanded by the modern automotive landscape. In an era when electrified vehicles increasingly define consumer expectations, Chrysler's limited electrification portfolio leaves it exposed to international rivals capable of delivering technology-rich vehicles at exceptionally aggressive price points. Adding to the pressure is Chrysler's diminishing cultural footprint. Once a household name associated with sophistication and quiet confidence, the brand has struggled to establish relevance among younger drivers, who gravitate toward technologically advanced vehicles that emphasize connectivity, software-driven features, and futuristic design language. The company's historical strengths in comfort and practicality are no longer sufficient differentiators in a market where innovation cycles are accelerating at unprecedented speed. Without a diverse lineup or a clearly articulated identity for the fully electrified era, Chrysler risks becoming overshadowed by international competitors that offer more compelling value combined with modern styling and advanced technology. The financial and strategic challenges facing Chrysler are further complicated by the brand's narrow market reach. Unlike global luxury automakers with substantial international presence, Chrysler depends overwhelmingly on the North American region. This dependence increases its vulnerability as aggressively priced electrified imports move closer to entering the United States market, despite political barriers. If Chinese automakers successfully enter the American mainstream with affordable electrified vehicles, Chrysler could face direct competition in the very categories where it once held dominance. This vulnerability underscores the mounting urgency for Chrysler to redefine its purpose, rebuild its lineup, and confront the accelerating pace of global competition. The next brand demonstrates how even long-established American automotive names can be shaken by international forces reshaping the future of transportation. Cadillac. Luxury used to be measured by craftsmanship, presence, and prestige, but the modern buyer demands much more: software sophistication, electrified efficiency, and futuristic design. Cadillac enters this pivotal era with the weight of a legendary name and the pressure of accelerated global competition pushing against it from every direction. How it adapts now will determine whether its legacy endures. Cadillac, a brand that once defined American luxury with unmatched confidence, craftsmanship, and technological ambition, now finds itself navigating one of the most turbulent eras in its more than 120-year history. From the early 20th century onward, Cadillac symbolized aspirational success, combining powerful engines, elegant styling, and a uniquely American sense of presence. Its large sedans, bold coupes, and imposing sport utility vehicles shaped the nation's understanding of what a luxury automobile should feel like. However, as the global automotive landscape shifts toward full electrification, software-driven features, and rapid development cycles, Cadillac's traditional strengths face unprecedented pressure from manufacturers in the People's Republic of China that are redefining luxury value at astonishing speed. Chinese automakers have mastered the art of producing technologically rich, fully electrified vehicles at remarkably low prices, thanks to vertically integrated battery production, government-supported research ecosystems, and manufacturing efficiencies that no traditional United States luxury brand can yet match. Their ability to deliver premium materials, impressive driving range, advanced driver assistance features, and futuristic cabin technology in compact and mid-size fully electrified models threatens Cadillac's position in the entry luxury and mid-luxury categories. These offerings appeal strongly to younger luxury buyers who prioritize digital screens, rapid software updates, seamless connectivity, and high-efficiency driving over the traditional hallmarks of Cadillac's heritage. This shift in consumer preference places Cadillac at a crossroads: evolve quickly or risk fading from relevance. Cadillac has already invested heavily in its transition toward fully electrified vehicles, but the pace of transformation is not fast enough compared to the relentless acceleration occurring overseas. Developing an entirely new electrified architecture, reconfiguring factories, and redesigning the brand's identity around modern luxury requires substantial time and resources. Meanwhile, Chinese luxury electrified brands release updated models in significantly shorter intervals, constantly pushing new technology and improved performance at prices Cadillac cannot feasibly match without sacrificing profit margins. As a result, Cadillac risks being outpaced in a category that is critical to its survival: the electrified luxury crossover market, which represents the future of luxury transportation in the United States of America. Another challenge lies in Cadillac's legacy reputation. While the brand retains strong recognition among older generations, younger luxury buyers increasingly associate cutting-edge innovation with overseas manufacturers that emphasize futuristic design and digital-first experiences. Cadillac must confront the reality that prestige alone cannot shield it from technologically superior alternatives, offering greater value for significantly less money. If emerging fully electrified competitors gain traction in the American market despite regulatory obstacles, Cadillac could face direct pressure in segments it depends on for stability, including compact luxury crossovers, mid-size luxury sedans, and performance electrified vehicles. The next brand illustrates even more dramatically how global competition is rewriting the hierarchy of American luxury automotive manufacturers: Buick. Buick. Generational trust built Buick into a quiet American success. But the newest generation of drivers looks for features and technology that legacy brands struggle to deliver at the same speed as emerging rivals. With the market rapidly reshaped by fully electrified mobility, Buick faces challenges that cannot be solved by tradition alone. In the early 20th century, Buick emerged as one of the earliest cornerstones of American automotive prestige, offering vehicles that blended refinement, practicality, and understated luxury. For decades, Buick occupied a distinctive space between mainstream affordability and full premium exclusivity, allowing drivers to experience comfort and durability without the cost associated with upper-tier luxury brands. However, the 21st century shift toward fully electrified mobility has exposed a vulnerability in Buick's identity. While the brand continues to resonate with older generations, younger consumers increasingly associate innovation, software-driven features, and technological design leadership with manufacturers originating in the People's Republic of China. This generational shift leaves Buick contending with a shrinking demographic base, even as global competition intensifies around it. Buick's challenge is further complicated by its limited product portfolio within the United States of America. The brand, once known for a diverse lineup spanning sedans, wagons, convertibles, and large elegant cruisers, now relies primarily on a small collection of crossover sport utility vehicles. This narrowed focus leaves Buick vulnerable at a time when Chinese competitors are flooding international markets with compact and mid-size, fully electrified crossovers that offer advanced battery technology, impressive range, rapid charging capability, and sophisticated cabin interfaces at significantly lower prices. Buick, by contrast, is constrained by legacy manufacturing processes, higher domestic production costs, and a slower development cycle that makes it difficult to respond quickly to disruptive innovation. Without a strong lineup of competitive, fully electrified models, the brand risks losing the very market segments that once defined its relevance, particularly as consumers gravitate toward affordable, electrified vehicles that blend technology, efficiency, and value. Another dimension of Buick's vulnerability lies in its shifting global identity. While the brand maintains a modest presence in the United States of America, its strongest market for many years has been the People's Republic of China, where Buick became associated with professional prestige, family respectability, and aspirational mobility. That reliance on a foreign market has created a paradox. Buick must evolve quickly to keep up with the electrified momentum of Chinese manufacturers. Yet those same manufacturers are now the very forces eroding Buick's competitive advantages. As the Chinese market becomes increasingly saturated with homegrown, fully electrified vehicles offering superior value, Buick's once dominant position there is weakening. This decline matters deeply because global momentum has long supported Buick's ability to invest in new products for the American market. If that foundation continues to erode, Buick may find itself without the international stability needed to sustain the costly transition toward the fully electrified future required for survival. Every delay in product development, every reduction in model diversity, and every missed opportunity in the fast-moving electrified segment compounds the pressure on Buick at a moment when international competitors show no signs of slowing. That's today's deep dive, but the conversation starts with you. Do US brands still stand a chance? Are Chinese EVs the future? What's the next big shift coming? Share your thoughts below. I read every comment. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you stay ahead of the next big shakeup in America's auto market.